Hi, I'm Jefe Gonzalez Jr. here at the 50th annual Beaucycle staff party celebration of 50 years in the business. The slogan of the store, where the fun begins.
My dad had the concept, he had a radio station do this jingle for him. It was Beaucycle, this is where the fun begins. So I think that's always been our theme. We've sort of had that work hard, play hard mentality, and we do both pretty well.
I grew up with Brian, and I grew up with Jimmy, so I became part of the family quite quickly. And just the drive that they had as entrepreneurs to succeed, and just the brotherhood that they created within their whole environment. If anybody ever comes to you for looking for a job and they have a resume working from the School of Beaucycle, you won't have a problem hiring them, that's for sure.
I got hired by Jim Sr. in 1968, and at that time it was like his small bicycle shop, a large motorcycle shop, and some skates and hockey equipment. And they were obviously looking for a bicycle mechanic, and I approached Jim Sr. with this, and I told him I was a licensed bicycle mechanic from Holland, and he kind of freaked right out. Never heard of such a thing, but he hired me for $1.50 an hour, and I showed myself after a month working there. The guy was kind of flabbergasted, and doubled my wage, and the way it went. My memories are of Jim Sr. was the nicknames. That was his big thing.
That carried on to Brian, we hear?
Oh yeah, that carried on to Brian. I mean, Brian is Bullets and I'm Blodgett, and Josh is Goldie. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
I never really knew how to party until the first time I came to Bowness and met this crew. My name's Skip Swain, I'm from Norco Products. I'm here with my good buddy Tom Bastable.
Myself, I've been at Norco for 28 years. So when I started Norco, I was on our inside sales customer service desk. So I did work with Jim Sr. and the team of employees way back then. Wow. I know I'm kind of aging myself. I know I only look like I'm 32.
Larry in the house? Kurt? Oh, hey.
When I started at Beaucycle, it was 1988, so this would be 19 years ago. I was working with Cam and his brother Sunan, and they taught me how to do a COA right away the first day, and I was building bicycles, and I worked as a technician for the first probably 7 or 8 years that I worked at Beaucycle, and at that point I had the opportunity to move into different areas. Basically, my goal was to try and learn everything in the business and be transferable, right, and understand how it works. And now that we have this group of 5 people with different expertise, mine out of our group falls on the service department, so that's nice. I really enjoyed getting my hands back on the wrenches and being able to adjust people's bikes and tell them what they need and be able to get their bike dialed for a race or whatever. It's really nice for me, and I'm happy to be fixing bikes.
I was doing the bar scene for 10 years or so and thought I'd maybe dry out a little bit, so I thought maybe I'd try the cycling industry because I've ridden a bike in the past and stuff, and then I knocked on Brad's door for a couple of years, and finally he let me join the crew there, and I found out that joining the cycling industry wasn't as dry as I thought it was going to be.
We pretty much made an effort, everybody had a collective effort to participate in sort of after hours festivities, having some fun and creating a bit of a culture amongst ourselves. This one night we had a crit race inside our store. That's not why we're doing crit races today, but there was a crit race inside the store on these 16-inch wheel bikes, and at one point Clint came around the corner on this bike, and I kind of gave him a bit of a hip check, and he took out the whole chain lube and tube display and laid it over, and it was crazy.
He had a set of women's sunglasses that had the arms that came down and went up on the frame, and there's a reason he has eyesight problems, because those glasses were horrible with 200,000 K on them.
Oh yeah, I had a pair of red women's glasses, shaded. Everyone thought it was crazy, but these glasses had a shade. You could just tilt your head if you wanted it darker, and they look kind of funny, I must admit, but their function was high functioning eyewear.
I rode a lot of bikes as a kid. It's a great environment to be around. There's people who want to have fun. I spent a lot of time at Bell Sports doing some purchasing, and Bri, in his foresight, thought I'd be a good addition to the team. It didn't take me long to figure out what I wanted to do. I learned a lot at a young age when I was working here. The great people managers.
One of the first times I met Brian out here, when he was first taking over the store. And I said to Bry, or what is it that like Rocky Mountain could bring to your store? He says, what we really need around here are mountain bikes. And this is like 1980, right? And mountain bikes had just barely started scratching the surface. And I just thought, yeah, you're right around here, you're in the mountains, this is Calgary, people are going to love mountain bikes here. But that to me illustrated how sharp Brian was for really seeing like the obvious truth in cycling and kind of understanding how cycling grows from the grassroots up.
Brian approached us and his whole idea about making a special anniversary bike that he could auction off for charity and stuff. We thought that was a really cool idea. Basically, Brian just started shooting a bunch of pictures of his bikes from the collection. And we kind of zeroed in on one of these old bikes called an Elgin. That was a tanker. We kind of worked it from there, and we tried to kind of modernize it a little bit, but make sure that it had a substantial gas tank that would hold 3 cans of beer. And we put the torsion bars on the front. It's kind of like a little bit of old meets a little bit of new. Just a real fun town bike. All the boys, they're just a bunch of characters, and they're really honest, approachable lot. So I don't think a day goes by when there isn't a story to tell when you hang out with these guys.
Brian and I used to do television commercials for the motorcycle shop.
Oh, yeah.
And, we used to break through these walls of paint on our motorcycles and wheelie through them. And he ended up one night having way too much fun. And his father took away his motorcycle. And I happened to have an accident, and our motorcycles were both the same color. So I went to where Brian hit his motorcycle, and I took all the parts off it to fix my motorcycle. Needless to say, when Brian found out, he was chasing me around BoCycle for about 10 days, I think.
It was just a lot of fun working with those people and seeing Brian and Jimmy grow up in that business as a young guys, and for what I've seen and over the years, those guys done a tremendous job, as you can see today.
The ownership group is the hardest working group of people I've ever met in my entire life, and just trying to keep up with those guys is that's the motivation. Is just like you got to try and keep up with the partners.
Over the years, that has been the key to our success, is the people that we surrounded ourselves with. We're lucky enough to have that ability to get those people. And I think because we sold fun as the concept, that a lot of people stuck with us.
I came in to this store working here is just going to be a summertime, like just a part-time job, and I was going to go travel. And met Brian. He's a guy that sort of let you do what you want to do. It was basically, here's my bike shop, work real hard, do the best you can. But the goal I learned from him that I try to portray every time I'm doing business is take care of the customer. Our goal is to be the #1 bike shop in North America, and what does that mean? It means quality of service, quality of products, quality of people around the bike shop, and all in all, what I refer to now, it's the experience you get when you go into BoCycle.
I think Brian and I, we think the same way about the bicycle business. We love the people, passionate about the business, and you got to have a little bit of fun when you're working your butt off.
Just got a little present for the store. Skip getting unveiled the box there.